Hello everyone, this is a psychic reading on the future of BRICS as well as the United States and kind of just where everything is leading, especially moving towards more of the technological age as I'm calling it, as I'm seeing it. So I already did the meditation, or I already did the reading, I should say, in the state of meditation, and I took notes, so I will be reading from my notes. I decided to call this BRICS and the Future of the United States and the Age of Technology. So, first, what came up to me for when I was tuning into BRICS specifically. BRICS, if you don't know, stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. I see a medal, like a medal that someone is awarded as if like the Olympics or something like that. As if they are being rewarded a medal that looks kind of like a shield. Um, so it's kind of double meaning here. There's a sense of battle and to have put up a wall of defense like a shield of protection. I saw within the shield the year 2024 written in the shield. And it seems that by the end of 2024, BRICS will be very well established in some manner. I see a slow building process rather than a war, which is a positive thing, I would say. And it doesn't seem like there's much of an effort for them to topple their opponents as much as it's more so for them to build themselves up. But in this process, they're creating a wall between them and their competitors. This looks like resources will flow better between the BRICS nations, and gas may become more expensive in the West in 2024 and onward. I see a crumbling away of the US around this time as well. So it looked like the US was just kind of weakening, is what I'm getting at. It looks like negligence rather than total destruction. So it's more like just being ignored, neglected, not taken care of, not maintained, but still existing. I don't see the US dissolving, but it seems to become like a child of what it used to be. It has been cut off from the major league now, so to speak, but still has some minor partners in world power. So moving to 2025, I see this poof as if something disappears. And it's a moment of where the US radically transforms in some way. Again, this is not the US completely disappearing or anything like that, but maybe more symbolically, something is like just suddenly disappearing. Something is, not the United States as a whole. The US becomes almost a piece of a larger network rather than a separate country of itself. This is, of course, with European countries. BRICS continues to grow more wealthy in 2025. I see the president of China becoming very rich. I actually saw a picture of him, and it was like he smiled and one of his teeth like glimmered. 2026 is where I start to see trouble for BRICS. It seems that the international powers involving the United States, kind of more like the other side that's opposing BRICS, which is more the international powers. They seem mostly U.S. driven, and they seem to gain more power back around 2026. This isn't about the U.S. being more powerful, though. It's more about the cooperation and the new global system becoming more powerful. So it's kind of like a network. It's not just like the US or any specific country is powerful. It's more like everyone's more cooperative and everyone's working together more. So there's less kind of dominance on some level, but there's more efficiency. Anyways, I'll explain more of that later. Also, this isn't so much about the Western powers being more powerful than BRICS. It's more so that the two merge to some degree, I would add. It's that the cooperative international system is more efficient. It's similar to how a cockroach is not a big predator, but they seem to survive every natural disaster that other species don't. In that way, this new system of cooperation is similar. They're not predators, they're not dominant, they're not dominating the world, but they seem to survive and they have this efficiency. And so, because of that, BRICS kind of joins in on that system of operation a little bit. BRICS does continue and isn't completely taken over by this process, but it becomes mostly dissolved, leaving about 20% of their individuality in exchange for cooperation. So the other 80% basically gets dissolved into this kind of like co-op, so to speak. This seems to be around 2026 when the technological age really starts. This is a major shift in humanity, in human history and culture. Now, I've actually been talking about this for like 3 years now at least, where there's this shift taking place. We're already in it. It's really gonna start shifting more economically next year, 2024. Things could be kind of rough on the economy. 2025, it's almost like revolutionary. 2026, things just like really change a lot, and it'll continue to change, but I see those being the main years where I guess the heavy lifting takes place, so to speak. I see BRICS holding on until around 2028, actually, where they then start to fade away into the rest of the united politics of the world. And I thought they were going to last a lot longer than that, but that's not what showed up to me in this reading. At this point, it looks like computers run everything. I mean, on some level, they kind of do, but to more of an extent where it basically kind of takes over a lot of political positions. So politics become almost irrelevant. This is where technology is pretty much taking care of human needs to the point that national and political power is no longer necessary. National identities will fade away, and again, this is around 2028 or so, and many customs and cultures will also fade. So that's kind of the downside of it. This will be a loss, but many will be happy to trade it for peace of mind and technology. I see much more travel, so I don't think the 15-minute cities are going to really be a thing, at least not long term, because I see a lot more people traveling around 2028 or so. Hold on. Sorry about that. I had to turn off an alarm. Continuing on, there will be a lot of disagreement about this in 2026. I was saying regarding the 15-minute cities and the World Economic Forum and all of that. Seems like that will finally reach a point where people are starting to, say something about it more so. But by 2028 and onward, most people will be fully integrated into the new way of being. And so on some level that will be World Economic Forum type stuff, but I don't see it necessarily being controlled by the World Economic Forum. It may resemble that, but I think it will be better than the control and the power over it that the World Economic Forum is trying to possess. There are international laws that make things more simple and efficient. Many complicated laws go away. I see that as a positive thing in my personal opinion. There is more of a single way of doing things, which weeds out many loopholes and gets rid of most crime. In the way that, society has many different ways that you can accomplish something. It seems like things become more regulated and more simplified, which is a positive thing. But on the other hand, there's less options. So, good and bad at the same time, I guess you could say. It does seem that corruption overall fades. This includes corruption from the highest level of government and manipulation over humanity. So that's a positive. And I know this contradicts what many people think about much of the future with the World Economic Forum and things of that nature. This is not quite what they're pushing, but it can resemble that on some level with the unification of international powers, which can be a dangerous thing. But what I'm seeing is that overall it seems to work out despite these power grabs. This movement is trying to be controlled and manipulated, but I see culture changing so much that the corrupt elite don't really hold much power in society anymore. People are becoming much more caring and compassionate due to having their needs met more easily. And so that contributes to people no longer going along with corruption. And so, the few control the many, but if the many don't put up with it, then they don't have power. So, there you go. I do see less spirituality being practiced, which is disappointing to me. The future is not set in stone, and there are infinite timelines. So I will be setting an intention to bring the spiritual practices and psychic work along into the future of humanity. It seems that spirituality wants to be replaced more by group activities. The positive is that I see less loneliness and mental illness. So that's good. But the negative is that there's less of a kind of individualistic drive to push yourself to achieve new states of spirituality. It's more like a group ritual activity instead, which is, I guess you could call kind of spiritual, but it's not quite the same thing where you have more of like a direct connection with the divine. But there's more of a group, collective mindset. So I do see that being the general direction that humanity is heading, for the better or the worse. That just seems to be where things are going. So that's all I have to say for now. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. Give this video a thumbs up if you watch it all the way to the end. And don't forget to subscribe if you have not yet for monthly predictions and all types of videos. Thank you. Goodbye. Hello everyone. Right now I have a 1 free week trial on my Patreon. So all you have to do is sign up, and you have access to hundreds of posts about all types of stuff, a lot of blind readings on all types of people, all types of situations. I highly recommend it. 1 week for free. Check it out in the link below. and I will show you a preview of what I have in just a second here. Hello everyone, I just wanted to quickly talk about my Patreon page and what's been going on over here. So as you see, these are some of the posts that I have posted. I've been making a lot of posts about upcoming events. You can see a quick preview here of what I talk about. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll down through all of the posts so you can see what's been going on here and explain a little bit about what I do here. So I have 4 different tiers now. The lowest tier is only $5 to join, actually. In fact, right here, this is an example of the information that I do for $5 a month. I do blind readings, at least 3 videos a month, where I pick a random name or an event or something like Enki and Enlil. There's another example of that. And I will do a reading on it without knowing who it is that I'm doing a reading on. And the reason I do that is so that I don't just see what my mind preconceives. Because if I don't know what I'm reading, how can my assumptions, influence the reading? So that's why I choose these names that I don't know and do the reading blind, and then I follow it up by looking them up, comparing notes, and finding more questions based off of that. And of course, when I do those questions afterwards, doing the reading into that, it's no longer a blind reading, but regardless, it's still very valid information. So I encourage you to check that out if you're interested in that type of content. Now, as you see, there's a lot more stuff here. The higher up tier, that's $8 a month, includes all of my information about the news and things of that nature. So I'm trying to find an example here. There's a lot of crypto stuff too, which is actually the higher up tier, which is now $10 a month, and $10 a month for the basic Bitcoin and stock market and general crypto market information, and then it's $16 a month for all the crypto information, which includes years compiled of years worth of different coins. So tons of coins out there. But an example of, let me find an example here of something else. So basically, there's none coming up right now because it's more of a recent thing. So if you scroll up to the top, which I've already scrolled down, recently what I've started doing is posting about the news more and more often. Things just like talking about BRICS or something going on in Sudan, however you say it. Things like that. And just keeping you up with what is going on. So this is a very interesting one here. I actually did Marina Yankina blind reading twice on accident. And I believe this is the second time I posted it. Maybe it's the first one. But again, this was a blind reading, and because it was blind, I forgot who it even was and did it again because I accidentally didn't erase it from my list of people to read. And it came to the same conclusion, that she was murdered. Actually, that was one of the first things that came to me, that I wrote, I think she may have been killed. And the first one basically was about her not aligning well with people around her at work and them teaming up against her, and basically it implied that she was mostly killed, especially when you compare it to the news where she was fallen from a building in Russia and they suspect that she was killed, but there was no hard proof of that. But from my reading, I can confirm, because I've done the reading twice, came to the same conclusion both times, that she was murdered. So I believe that there was a person or group of people in the Russian government that killed her for opposing Ukraine. Now, that is more of my specific conclusion that I've drawn related to Ukraine, because that didn't specifically show up in the reading, but what did show up was that it had to do with economics and things very much so related to aspects of Ukraine and politics. Actually, politics did show up as it being related to her political views. So I feel like I've been scrolling long enough that you can kind of get a sense of what I post here. Again, more of the stuff that's more recent, where I've been posting more about the news, is more so at the top. As you can see, more stuff around here. But there's a lot of crypto stuff. So, if you're interested in that, I encourage you to check it out. Besides for that, thank you for watching and have a great day. Also, this link will be below the video in the description, so be sure to check that out. Join for only $5 a month, have access to hundreds of different blind readings that I've collected throughout the year, and don't forget to use the search bar at the top of the screen to help you find all of the different people that you may find interesting. Thanks for watching and have a great day.